Bantamweight bout. Payton Talbott coming in at minus 595 against Nick Aguirre, sitting at plus 420. Over under 1.5 rounds, minus 170 for the over, plus 140 for the under. Payton Talbott undefeated, coming off his impressive win on the Contender Series. This will be his UFC debut. Nick Aguirre coming off his loss in his UFC debut, so this will be his second fight. And it's 4-1 in his last 5. Coming in here for Payton Talbott, big favorite, but I do think it's fairly warranted. I mean, we always hate, betting on guys making their UFC debuts, and especially at big chalk. But in this one, I think Payton Talbott showed enough against, Reyes Cortez, who's not UFC caliber, but I mean, he's kind of on that edge where you could see him being in the UFC. Like, being in the UFC isn't something crazy to say nowadays. We see a lot of people get into the UFC and, fight their 2 or 3 fights and then they're on the way out. So I think Reyes Cortez could probably make the UFC. I don't know if he'd stay around, but Payton Talbott kind of put it on him in that one. Nick Aguirre fought Dan Argueta. Didn't look great in that one. He was a heavy underdog in that one too. But Payton Talbott looks like a pretty dang good talent to come in here into the UFC and maybe make some noise. What are you thinking in this one?
Yeah, I think if Aguirre wants to win this fight, he's got to do it by submission. He's not going to sit and strike with Talbott by any means. And, to be able to submit Talbott, you got to get him down to the ground. And Reyes Cortez was a wrestler, and I think he landed one takedown for just a minute. And Talbott did so good at working back up to the feet. He's done it in fights on the regional scene. If he gets tripped or taken down, he's so, I don't even know if you want to call it athletic or what it is, but he's able to get back up to his feet every single time. Pretty sure he hit the backflip there on the Contender Series trying to get out of a takedown attempt. And on the feet, this dude was insane, in my opinion. One of the best strikers we saw all season. His numbers were insane. He landed 145 significant strikes against Reyes Cortez in that fight. Good numbers there. Striking-wise, obviously he's going to be the better fighter here. His takedown defense is good. His get-up game's good. Aguirre is dangerous with the submissions, but if he can't get it to the ground, I don't see him having much success at all here. And I think that's exactly why you're seeing Talbott here at a massive, massive favorite. So I'll be looking at the KO TKO prop just because Talbott landed some shots on Cortez that put most people out. I think Cortez, at the heart is a junkyard dog. At least he will not go away easily and he can take some punishment. Anybody else on the show, I think Payton Talbott probably puts out. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes in here, gets a big finish and, starts building his name a little bit. This is the type of fighter these UFC executives love to bring up. They love to give them fights to, showcase their skills. He's kind of got that, kind of star potential coming off the Contender Series if he can string some wins together here. So I expect him to have a big performance.
It is a pretty crazy line just because he was minus 155 against Reyes Cortez, obviously beat the brakes off him. And then Nick Aguirre doesn't look good in his UFC debut. I think on the feet, the pressure of Talbott is just something that people hate to deal with. Like, he will stay in your face, walk you down. And a lot of the shots that Payton Talbott was hitting Reyes Cortez with, it's just like Cortez couldn't do anything about it. He just, the pressure that he puts on you just throws everything at you. Kicks, he just walk you down and throw everything. So in this one, I think Aguirre, if he doesn't take it to the ground, he's going to probably not love that pressure. He's going to wilt to that pressure. I think Payton Talbott probably gets him out of there. I could see a second round or a third round finish, because that pressure is just insane. Like, he didn't even look tired. He landed 145 significant strikes on Cortez, and it didn't even look like he was phased at all. So I think probably a late finish is probably something I'll be eyeing. Talbott's the pick for me, obviously, and we'll move on.